What is considered a traditional path of filmmaking? Picture this. Someone grows up, watches a film that changes them, picks up a camera, makes a movie, either goes to film school or makes films on the side, and then just keeps doing it until someone notices. This is a gross generalization, but most of the world's best filmmakers have followed this exact path in their journey to becoming a filmmaker. What's not taken into account though is how much filmmaking has changed since its inception. Filmmaking has shifted from celluloid film to digital cameras, and how streaming has taken over with more films being made than ever before. What these two things have in common is how much they were mocked, ridiculed, and seen as something that would never change the industry. And wish they did. Now the thing is, these two shifts have finished taking place. There's one shift that has not taken place yet that nobody's noticing, and that is YouTube and how it's going to change filmmaking. As a kid who grew up at YouTube as far back as 2006, it cannot be overstated how much YouTube has changed the world and creator culture as a whole. What was a thing that was once open to people in film, TV, and music is now open to many people who can film what they love and make a living from it. Take the people who started making low quality content to becoming big creators. These are creatives who use a lot of principles to grow their channel. The thing is, YouTube and creator culture is not being respected as much as it should have in the regard of how it's changing the path of people's life. While you could point to people like Bo Burnham or David F. Sandberg who did start as creators, there's still an overall reluctance to see creators as more than just people who yell at their cameras all day. And I don't think this is fair. YouTube will change the path for many aspiring creators, and I think we should explore this topic more broadly. An easy start is me. I think YouTube opened up my eyes to filmmaking and the joys of it. If there was ever a version of the I picked up a camera and made something story, then it was me making my first ever video with my iPod Touch 4. I loved watching YouTubers make videos about video games, and I wanted to do the same thing for so long. However, my videos had no editing and it was just me talking on camera rather poorly. It was about as rock bottom as you can get. However, this was the earliest seed of me becoming interested in filmmaking, as this was when I discovered my passion for filming, expressing myself, and most of all, my passion for editing. Now, what's the big deal about this? Well, this was all before I ever thought about becoming a filmmaker in the first place. Growing up, it's no secret I was more into video games, and I never thought about film until I saw Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters, which made me more interested in film. Once I discovered the filmmaking side of myself, YouTube became instrumental to me learning more about it. YouTubers like Chris Stuckman weren't just entertaining, but really went into lengths about what worked in the film or what didn't work, which I found so fascinating. Then there's the various video essays and filmmaking tutorials I would binge all the time in high school, as I found it super interesting to see how directors work. When I eventually wanted to become a director myself, all the lessons I learned about talking on camera, editing, and using the camera came back to me, which made the learning curve so natural. Take the first video that's on my channel right now, which is my review of Dunkirk. The editing and presentation was all passable, but I got better over time, and now the videos I make today, the difference is insane. When I look through the seeds of my journey, YouTube was the one that started it all, which is why I treat my videos as an extension of my filmmaking side of myself. With my story aside, this is why I think it will change the filmmaking landscape going forward. I've realized many in the industry believe in a classical way of filmmaking and seem so reluctant to break it. Going to film school and seeing how my props operate opened my eyes to that. For example, it's a common myth that directors should not edit their own movies, which seems so ancient to me. There's a place to that idea, but many people can learn editing on their own today and probably agree with me on this. The fact of the matter is, people who want to be creators and be successful at it understands the traits that filmmaking stands for. These facts are storytelling, editing, and creating something that people will want to watch. Think of a YouTuber like Eric, who went from 0 to 1 million subscribers in 2020, and it's by no accident. His videos are storytelling in their heart, as they all have a 3-act structure that builds the stakes as it goes, and most of all, has an editing style that enhances the quality. The best kind of videos on YouTube understand storytelling and why a given audience should care about them. So the big questions you guys must have right now is, where is Gen Z heading? Gen Z is watching YouTube daily, which is a great resource to discover various aspects of filmmaking. YouTube made me discover films like Birdman and Whiplash, and I've talked to many people who have told me YouTube helped them discover certain films. This, as a result, is probably gonna make filmmaking more accessible than ever before. YouTube helped me discover this in myself, and many more can realize this. Then there's a part of filmmaking which seems so ancient to people like me that we probably want to change. I can see many more directors editing their own movies, or at least being more hands-on, as softwares like Premiere Pro and Final Cut has reinforced this. And most of all, I can see so much creative and imaginative work come from people going from content creators to filmmakers. YouTube requires so much creativity to stand out with each video, and I think this is a very transferable skill. Now, the traditional way of filmmaking will never go away. There will always be a place for people who want to work in that environment. Think of how celluloid film exists alongside digital cameras and how vinyl exists alongside Spotify. There will always be a market for the old ways. But to ignore the impact YouTube, creator culture, or TikTok has had, it's about as dumb as it was to ignore digital cameras or streaming services. Many will grow up and have YouTube open up their eyes to filmmaking, and since creatives are always in demand, this will shape the future. YouTube opened my eyes to film, and I think it's time we realize this future. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know this was a big discussion, but I had a lot of fun making this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a subscribe, like the video, click on the notification bell for alerts on brand new videos, and comment below, tell me guys thought the video. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys in the next video.